MLS Aces Podcast. This is your host, Tom Sweezy, episode 371, and I'm here with Jason Devang. Jason, you are like Bosnia. You've made the World Cup. You're unlike Italy and every other country that failed
I'm like
today.
Bosnia?
You're Bosnian. Do you know?
Sure.
Fun fact for you. Do you know who scored the game-winning PK for Bosnia and Herzegovina?
No.
It was Esmir Baharektarovic that I can't pronounce, the Revs' former homegrown who picked Bosnia over the U.S.
Well, I'm happy for him. And there was no way I was ever guessing that.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin's own former New England Revolution.
I was going to say Balotelli. The listeners have no idea why.
No. And also shout out 40-year-old Eden Dzeko for going 120 minutes in Bosnia, going back to the World Cup for a second.
I just realized that on StreamYard, I'm assuming your screen looks pretty similar to mine, but if you put your cursor over that little duck with the headphones on in the top left, it does like a head nod. See that?
Wow. StreamYard's getting fancy, man.
Yeah, that's new. That's new for sure.
StreamYard was not like this. Well, we don't have a ton to talk about today. This is going to be a very USMNT heavy focused podcast, and just for listeners and viewers' sake, if you see Jason's head turned to the side, or if you see me look up like this, we are recording during the USMNT's game against Portugal, so that is
listeners. You don't have to worry about it. But
listeners,
yeah, I will be like this, which is me. For the listeners, I'm looking to the side.
I was going to say you only might really hear it if Jason decides to talk with his head away from the mic, but other than that,
but I can kind of like I can still do it.
Good.
I can pull it off. It
viewers.
just looks a little funny,
Viewers,
but that's fine. We're live here, fully live.
Well, we're not live to the people watching or
listening. No, but we're live.
We're alive. Yes. The only real European result I want to talk about just really quick for the 4 UEFA, I guess, like final playoff spots for the World Cup was Turkey did defeat Kosovo 1-0. I was super disappointed. I was really rooting for tiny
little Kosovo.
I was really, really pushing for it.
That's the only one you want to talk about, even though we had Italy missing the World Cup for the 3rd straight time.
I mean,
could you imagine if the U.S. missed 3 straight World Cups?
Imagine if the last 3 World Cups we missed one, and the only reason why we made another was because we're hosting it. And yeah, I mean,
and the other one we made fair and square.
There we go. Exactly. Shout out. So what's up, Italy?
I thought this was like going to be impossible to miss because it's so much bigger.
So I was texting with my friends again. I was telling you before we started recording. I have very true. I think just like at most probably New York and New Jersey folks, like Italian American friends, but like just strong ties to Italy. Not like we've been here for 20 generations and we mispronounce things, and a lot of devastation, a lot of sadness, a lot of fully invested back into the USMNT now, but the fact that by the time, and you said this, Jason, that the next World Cup comes around, Italy, 2-3-time World Cup champion Italy, would be 16 years without playing in a World Cup.
Did they not just win a Euro?
They did win a Euro.
Yeah, so they just like bad. Oh, we're good.
Italy just clearly, outside of I guess that 1 Euro run, like just doesn't win when it matters. Oh, I fucking thought Berhalter hit that. Berhalter, get him on the World Cup.
This is great that you're slightly ahead of me.
Sorry,
because it gives me time. No, it's great. It gave me time to twist my head and watch that.
It wasn't Berhalter.
It was Pulisic.
I really wanted to be Sebastian Berhalter, I guess. But
we'll get into that. But Sebastian Berhalter already has been exceptional.
Yes, he's continued to prove that a Berhalter should be around the U.S.
Wow, I think you made some people mad with that one.
It's fine. And Arena should not. Turkey, they are going to be in the same group as the shit. You're not going to be happy in a few seconds.
I got the thought mob notification, but it didn't say anything, and then I just looked up. Wow, you're way ahead of me now. Did it get worse in the last 30 seconds?
I love when the U.S. give up a goal and Matt Freese just goes insane. Like, he just shoots up.
He's just like, what are we doing, defenders?
I mean, Chris Richards just got pulled out. No one's back in the box, and yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not live tackling.
This is gonna be this episode today, everyone. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad this happened in the first 5 minutes because it's probably gonna be a lot of this.
A lot. I mean, especially if we're gonna have a repeat of the U.S. Belgium game, but Austin Trusty got to do a little bit better with that one. Not that that's all on Trusty, but okay. So let's go back to what we're talking about. So Turkey is going to be the last team in the USMNT's group at the World Cup. Obviously, we got the toughest of the 4 possible opponents in there, so that makes sense. Bosnia and Herzegovina is going to be in Canada's group for the World Cup. And then obviously we're awaiting some results from the final 2 spots for the World Cup playoff. The DR Congo are right now 1-up on Jamaica in extra time. So a little CONCACAF nation might be out of the World Cup in the next few minutes or seconds. And then 11 o'clock p.m., we will not be on for that. Obviously, Iraq is playing Bolivia down in Mexico to see which one of them is the final nation for the 2026 World Cup this summer. So any larger World Cup qualification stuff that you want to bring up, Jason? Because I really hit on everything.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it, honestly.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate it.
I'm in friendly mode now.
Let's dive into the USMNT, right? So we had the first game against Belgium. It was an absolute shit show. I'm not even really gonna really set this up. The only big thing I think to note for that game, Chris Richards and Miles Robinson were both out, and Chris Richards back tonight versus Portugal. Miles Robinson's still out, both dealing with an injury. Belgium defeated us 5-2. We saw Mauricio Pochettino roll out initially what seemed to be about a 4-2-3-1 with Tim Weah playing like a real right back, and everyone else respectively playing their normal quote unquote positions. That quickly dissolved, and then we had Johnny Cardoso on the back line, and it quickly dissolved into Pochettino kind of getting back into that 3-5-2-1 that we've seen, and that's the formation that they decided to start with and roll out tonight versus Portugal, and it's looked much better up until the last few minutes. The U.S. For the Belgium game, the U.S. mainly had control of the first half, I would say. Score was 1-0 when Weston McKennie put away a goal off of a corner kick. Belgium did score just before the half, so it was 1-1 at the half. And then in the second half, Belgium just went out and looked like one of the best teams in the world, in which they are. A PK and scoring in the 53rd, a PK in the 59th, another goal in the 68th, and then obviously the final goal in the 82nd for them. And then Patrick Agyemang did score one late in the 87th to bring the U.S. back one, but does that one really matter in terms of the flow?
Matters to him.
Matters to Patrick Agyemang and Ricardo Pepi, who assisted the goal, but other than that, nothing else really, I would say. We can start high level if you want, Jason, but it was a great first half. It was a great, 35 minutes really for the U.S., where I think they looked like the better team against Belgium. Even with the tactical shift and everything, and like Johnny Cardoso, like I said, bouncing to the back line or into the back 3 once really the true back 4 wasn't really looking great. But the second half was just absolutely just no energy, no fight, no spirit, kind of the stuff I feel like we say about every other year with the U.S. national team.
I don't know. I feel like I'm in the minority where I watched this game, and sure, did it go great? Hell no. The scoreline indicates that it was horrible, right? 5-2. I feel like it could have been a lot worse of a 5-2. No. But when you think about a 5-2 game, you feel like, oh man, you got dominated, especially with the goal in the 87th minute. I don't feel like I'm going to sit here and be like, oh no, a top 10 team in the world outplayed us. Okay, the odds of us playing Belgium in the World Cup would hopefully be in the knockout rounds.
Quarterfinal, right?
Yeah, I think there's just this level of doom when it comes to the U.S. Every performance is sort of micro-analyzed to the point where I I feel like sometimes I'm the crazy one because to me, I was pretty happy with a lot of performances from specific players. Like, I don't feel like it was a complete game. Of course not. I don't feel like I can sit here and be like, wow, I'm really excited. The tons of excitement going into the World Cup after that performance. But like, I'm also not sitting here going, there's nothing to gain. And sure, you might be like, this is too late to be like, finally, we're gaining things, But at the same time, like, there's so much that is negative that I feel like it's easy to just be like, yeah, that was horrible. We're the worst. We're gonna lose every game in the World Cup. It's like, I just, high level, I think that the moments where the team was like really playing hard, really playing well, and I think the effort thing is an issue to an extent, but like, I think that first half team and the effort they put in the moments of good stuff happening was all things that you can take away and actually be really happy about. I think like getting Anthony Robinson back into this lineup and seeing how he actually, benefits everyone else just by being out there, making it better, making the team better, making players around him have more space, finding space. Like, I think that was a big sign of positivity. I thought Malik Tillman had some really good moments in the first half.
He had good moments, but I will say, I agree with Anthony Robinson. I have nothing really to add there. Malik Tillman, I know he's still young. I think he's only 23 years old, 22 years old, something like that. But he had good moments, but then he just had moments where he comes across like he's a lack of effort dude that I think like you see in moments for sure. Like, he's not putting in like a defensive work rate, which obviously it's not his game, but you have to defend at all levels of the field.
I think I struggle with like the effort stuff because I don't know. I'm just sitting here and watching it on my TV. Like, I don't feel like I'm the one that can be like, they're not putting in full effort because like I don't know everything that goes into that.
No,
I see what you're saying, and I think you're probably right. It's just hard because for whatever reason for me, I can't get to that point.
And it's 100% fair, right? I'm the dude on my couch watching the game. I'm not ever going to sit here and say like they're not putting in effort as professional soccer players. But I think when I'm saying, right, when you're comparing the US going up against the best teams on the planet, maybe the same effort level that you're playing when you go up against, who have we beaten recently, right? I mean, Uruguay is a good team. I'm not helping my own case. The normal, I guess, folks of CONCACAF or some of the weaker opponents that we've played in recent time. I think that's where like you have to be at that next uptick level, and I think that's kind of what was maybe showcased the most in this game. That like clearly this Belgium team is the best team that this USMNT has faced under Mauricio Pochettino, and I think it was on clear display that we weren't at anywhere close to the same level of them, whether it was an effort play, whether it was a talent play, all of the above. And I think I do agree with you. I think the 5-2 scoreline probably is an unfair representation of what the final score of this game, quote unquote, should be. You had a PK, you had a few very world-class goals from Belgium that, their goals count as goals, right? But they're unbelievable goals from top-tier players.
I think, there was a couple goals that probably didn't need to be goals too.
Or like goals that maybe like if it isn't a Belgium, if it isn't England and Argentina, a Spain, right? Like that goal's really not going in. Maybe the same exact way. I think the biggest thing for me though was you can learn from mistakes, you can learn from bad games, and I'm personally just in life, I'm someone that believes you learn more from your bad moments and your mistakes than your good moments and your successes. So hopefully this is the U.S. learning from a bad moment just before the World Cup. And I would even say the effort level that I've been watching for the last 45 minutes against Portugal has been a completely different one than what I saw against Belgium. So
I would argue that 45 minutes into the Belgium game, I was feeling pretty good too. So
yeah,
let's wait till the second half. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's 100% fair. The larger point that I feel like I've been trying to get to, and I have so many high level thoughts about the U.S. is just as many, I think, strong individual performances that I could pull out that were good. I think Weston McKennie's played very well, and I think he's looked pretty good against Portugal. I liked Mark McKenzie's game. Anthony Robinson being back was great. I thought Timothy Weah had his good moments. I think I could point out just as many negative performances of, sorry, Tim Ream, that was the clear Tim Ream is a past 35-year-old center back playing against some of the best teams in the world. Christian Pulisic had his head down, shoulders down, looked disjointed and disconnected, just like he's kind of looked for AC Milan. It wasn't a great game from Tanner Tessman, who I was really excited to see him slot into a starting midfield spot. Obviously, I don't think that the complete Matt Turner criticism online is fair, but Matt Turner did not have his greatest game in net, kind of getting an opportunity before Matt Freese. So I think just as many little moments of good there, obviously in a 5-2 loss, there's just as many, or if not way more, moments of individuals just really not looking up to par for what you would hope this team would be at a few months in your final 2 games before a World Cup.
Yeah, I think I have to keep reminding myself that it was Belgium. And I think
that's fair.
This Portugal game matters a lot, and I know we're kind of recording during it, so it's a little bit hard to get major takeaways from it. But I feel like this is going to have to be viewed as a camp and not a game, right? Because sure, like you're saying, there's good performance. I think Timothy Weah actually handled Jeremy Doku pretty well, which is an incredibly tough task. Sure, did he get the better of Timothy Weah probably a few times? Of course. But the fact that he was in that position and was able to, I think it was early on in the game, probably 15, 20 minutes in, and he had that tackle on Doku that actually won a goal kick. And that's the kind of stuff that I really like to see. And I think that's where I'm like, that was super positive. And
really quick on that point too, who I thought actually played Jeremy Doku better than Weah was Mark McKenzie. I thought every time Mark McKenzie slid out to go one-on-one with Doku, it ended up in a goal kick. It ended up in a ball out. Mark McKenzie one-on-one defending Jeremy Doku, didn't have that on my bingo card, but
Mark McKenzie, I feel like is defending with a lot of confidence. He goes into challenges very confidently, which I think is a good thing. And something that a center back spot is fully up for grabs right now. Maybe multiple.
I would say multiple center back spots are up for grabs.
So I think Mark McKenzie, and let me check. Did he start this game?
It's Trusty, the back. They went to
Freeman,
Trusty Richards Freeman, yeah.
I'm curious how they're doing this back 3, back 4, especially today, but whatever. I think I kind of lost my thought, but
Mark, you were saying the moments like Timothy Weah defending Jeremy Doku,
I just think there's it's hard to just be oh, we lost 5-2 to Belgium. This is going into a World Cup. How can we expect anything? It's okay, but it's Belgium. And I can't think right now about you finding another more on par team with us that we might play. But I think losing to Belgium, I feel like U.S. fans are just in some different realities. There's groups of people who are all in different realities of where we should be at. Yeah. And I feel like the biggest arguments come from people just not realistically looking at the talent, looking at the team. Sure, I love a lot of these players. I think they're great players. I think Sebastian Berhalter is super fun to watch. As an MLS fan, I truly, and in watching this game, like I love seeing him out there succeeding. But
do I think Sebastian Berhalter's playing a lower midfield block in Pep Guardiola's Man City system?
Look, how many players on this team are even starting for that Belgium team?
I'm honestly, now you had me looking at the starting lineups and just looking really quick. One, maybe, 10. I would say
but
one.
that's my point. Like that, just like it doesn't even matter who you think or who, whatever. Yeah, it's the fact that like we're expecting like some insane, like what we're going to this game. Sure, I hoped we could win. I hoped we probably had a better game than a 5-2 game. Although one of those goals was a outside the box kind of like rolling across the grass. Personally, I don't know if that should have gone in. Another one of those goals was a handball that resulted into a penalty, which probably could have been avoided. I think there were sure, could the score have been better? Yes. I just think we're looking at teams that are on different levels. And I think that's when for me, it's like, what can we take from the game? Right. And I think you're right. You should be taking away negatives too. Like, I think negative performances are also pretty important. Like you said before, you learn a lot more from a bad performance probably than a good performance. But I think in terms of like player on field performances, this was a game to kind of test ourselves against some of the best teams, one of the best teams in the world, like a team that seriously could be in consideration for a semifinal or a World Cup final. I mean, it might be tough for them, but simply like it's possible.
I personally think, yes, it's a wake-up call. I think of when you suit the U.S. up against a top 6, 7, 8 team.
I think they're 9th or something, but
whatever it is.
The top 10 is insane. So.
I think if you're, and again, maybe the Uruguay win gave me a little bit more false hope than what it should, or the Uruguay domination. But I think it just shows, yes, there is just a pure talent class discrepancy between the top 8 to 10 to where we are in that 10 to 15 range, right? And I think that is a wake-up call. And it's not like I think I wanted the U.S. to come out and win, right? Or put up a multi-goal performance or whatever it may be. I just think it comes down to I want to see the energy and the effort from these guys. Again, you have 2 full games, well, now 45 minutes left up until the World Cup. And because the next time you guys are stepping on the field together, it's the real deal, and you want to play these games like it's the real deal. And I just think there was.
Well, don't they have 2 more friendlies?
Yeah. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah,
yes, it's the Germany.
But basically, what you're saying is, I mean, those are like literally tune-ups for it. So yes. I don't know how hard that's going to be.
I think these should honestly be tune-ups for the World Cup as well.
They are, yeah. But I meant more like those are so close. We might be seeing a little bit more concern over injury.
You still have the reality and the fact of like some of these guys may not be at the World Cup. These are guys, which even more to me is a reason why I'm pissed off at some of the lack of the effort, because it's like these are the moments you should be playing your hardest, fighting your hardest for a World Cup spot. Whether you give a shit about fighting for the U.S. in a World Cup or whatever, like you should, if you're a soccer player, you should want to play at a World Cup. Most likely, you have that goal and dream of playing at a World Cup. Like you should be doing everything you possibly can. And again, I'm not saying these guys aren't, and they're not working their asses off and training constantly, and they are. But you just don't see those performances reflected. And then I think on top of all of that, to your point, Jason, yes, there's just the pure talent discrepancy of where the U.S. players and roster is compared to a nation like Belgium right now, for sure. But again, I will say 45 minutes into Portugal, I know it's a 1-0 scoreline right now. things look better. I like what I'm seeing more, and there's more opportunities for the U.S. to be dangerous, and they don't look like they're dropping heads and dropping shoulders as much. Christian Pulisic, they're showing the clip right now of him fouling the shit out of a team. I love it, but like that's the energy that I don't think, especially from a guy like Christian Pulisic, that wasn't there in the Belgium game. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you. Sometimes you got to step on some toes. Sometimes you got to throw a hip. Sometimes you gotta put in a late tackle and set the tone for how we're going to play this game. And you're not going to walk all over us. And that second half of the Belgium game was a walk all over us performance, if you ask me. But is there anything that you want to say? Because I could talk about the bench a little bit.
I mean, are there any other starters you want to like single out in like a good way?
Jason's like positive. Can we ask him?
Well, no, I mean we can single them out in a bad way. I'm not trying to be like you sucked. You know what I mean? I'm more like, are there anyone else? Like we talked about Robinson, Weah, McKenzie, Testament a little, Tillman. We didn't really talk about Balogun. I don't know if there was a whole lot to say.
Yeah, Balogun was fine. Like he's still striker number one. I'll say Johnny Cardoso for 45 minutes. Didn't look bad. He looked like a good soccer player.
Yeah, but what's concerning me is how good Berhalter and Aiden Morris look.
Yeah, and I mean Christian Roldan, the second half against Belgium. Christian Roldan might have been the best U.S. player in that second half. Like I'm not trying to pound the Christian Roldan train too much, but this dude better be on a World Cup roster and playing in the World Cup. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, yeah, it's a weird midfield because when Adams come back,
it's Adams and who is his partner is pretty.
When's the last time we've had like a full strength 11?
But you know what? I don't even give a shit because you know what? When the Uruguay, I keep going back to Uruguay just because obviously it's the biggest win we've had.
Uruguay is also a team that's somewhat around our level, I would say. Like I was looking at the FIFA rankings, I think they're right above us or right below us. I can't remember.
Like I think that was a lot of guys you wouldn't say are our best 11. Like it was Timothy Tillman was starting in that game, if I'm not mistaken, not Malik. I'm talking the LAFC one. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah,
you have guys like that again, like energize. Like I'm starting to get, and I know you and I are guilty of it, but I'm starting to get over the conversation of when's the best 11 going to get there and when is Adams and all of like, you know what? I don't give a shit what 11 it is. That 11 should be. I
mean, you play with what 11 you have, right?
Like, exactly.
The best 11 is the 11. It should be, right?
Is the 11 there? Exactly. Excluding whatever injuries we're going to talk about. Like, that should be.
I mean, at some point, especially with some of these guys, Adams included, and it show me, now, like, stay healthy.
No, I will say Adam shows it when he plays, but yes.
No, I didn't mean it like obviously if Adam's healthy, he should be playing. Yeah. It's more like, can you stay healthy? Because at this point, availability is more important.
Hey, the best ability is availability. You know what I mean? All right, let's anyone else on the bench? Really, the only reason why I brought up the bench was because I wanted to bring up Christian Roldan because outside of him, Ajiman, and Pepe, everyone else I thought was just kind of not good. Like Arston looked bad. Giovanni Reyna looked like someone who
Reyna got play. Like 10 minutes.
He got 20 minutes. It looks like he's someone who doesn't play regular soccer. Oh wait, because he's not. You know what I'm saying?
Again, I'll go back to what I said before these games even kicked off. I don't need to see Giovanni Reyna on this team until he's playing real minutes.
Just.
Again, I'll say it again and again and again. Personally, should not be at the World Cup.
No, I don't think he should be. And I think the 20 minutes against Portugal, against Belgium proves it. And then I'm expecting him to get minutes tonight, and we will see watch him tonight score like a banger, and pull like classic Giovanni Reyna, like dribbling around 6 dudes like he did against Mexico.
I don't think it's really going to change my mind.
I don't think it'll change my mind. It will change a lot of people's minds, though, is all I'm saying.
There is a cult of people, I think it's the Berhalter haters, that really want Reyna to be like an incredible player.
The Berhalter, yeah. And then there's the yeah.
I remember it very well last World Cup when my friends who watch soccer once every 4 years were trying to explain to me how Reyna wasn't playing enough. I was like, guys, relax.
You know who should be on this roster over Giovanni Reyna? And I know he just got back from injury, so maybe it's the same argument. I'm just using it because I'm not a big Reyna guy right now. Is Diego Luna? Like that, just.
I was surprised not to see Luna, but I think it's probably injury related.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Pochettino likes Luna. It's pretty clear. So
massive balls, massive balls. That's my favorite. I don't give a shit how the Mauricio Pochettino USMNT era goes, and most likely, I'm assuming it'll be done after this World Cup. But the massive balls comment is top tier quote, top tier. All right. Anything else that you want to say or mention about the USMNT before we dive into some MLS stuff?
I think we're good. We went nearly 30 minutes on that. So
look, I could talk for hours. I just don't need to, I don't need to beat a dead horse, which I'm no.
Yeah, I feel like there's not much more I need to say about it. It was one game too.
Yeah, it was a bad game, but we will see. We will see what this second half against Portugal looks like. I'm sure we will mention something as it pops up. The timing may not be that much soccer talked on this podcast. But the only thing I want to quickly mention is Jamaica is eliminated from World Cup contention. The DR Congo beat them in extra time, 1-0. So no extra CONCACAF nations will be headed to the World Cup. And then the last spot will be between Iraq and Bolivia. Let's talk MLS, what's going on around the league as the league kicks back off this weekend. Obviously, I think you and I spoke a good amount about like LAFC, the Union, and some like kind of early season trends that we're seeing. But I want to start with transfers first because the transfer window officially is done and dusted. There shouldn't be any more names, but as I say that, there's going to be some random loan that just didn't get announced or whatnot. But the Colorado Rapids, they make 3 big moves to end the transfer window, which I find a little odd, a little interesting. But they sign a 24-year-old center back from Granada in the Spanish second division, Blake Williams. Then they trade for Kosi Thompson from Toronto FC for potentially $400,000 worth of GAM. And then probably the big one, I would say, trading for winger Georgie Manungu from the Seattle Sounders for a deal worth around a total of about $2 million GAM. So a new center back, a new fullback, a new winger, along with obviously the massive overhaul of the offseason and Matt Wells, being a brand new manager to the Colorado Rapids. So we don't specifically have to talk transfers, but I kind of want to talk Colorado. I don't know if you have any major Colorado takes, but they're interesting to me right now.
I mean, through the very early part of the season, they're in a pretty good position. They have a solid goal differential. They have 11 goals scored, which is towards the top of the league. Like, I think this is them looking at the start of their season, realizing what they may have in Matt Wells and being more aggressive than I think maybe at least we thought or I thought going into this season, because I think what they're showing is hey, let's push for something here. I mean, I wouldn't say their wins are over the best teams, but
no, they're but isn't that an improvement from missing the playoffs? You're beating bad teams and you're like losing to good teams and you're kind of just like a middle of the pack team. Like that's a year one improvement.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think for Colorado, it's improving upon each game basically. Yeah. And I think these moves just strengthen the team. I think the moves in the back line make their team a little bit more strong. It adds a little bit of depth, but also it adds a bit of a higher level to that defense in back line, which I don't even think has played necessarily bad to start the season. But again, any improvement for Colorado is a good improvement. Also, both of the losses have come away, so I guess you could take that. Playing in Seattle, playing in New York, not probably two of the harder places to play in the league, if not two of the hardest. But I think all of their moves have just strengthened their team, made their team better. Also, Darren Yappy.
Darren Yappy might have just lost his starting spot to Georgie Manungu.
We'll see.
I will say, look, I agree with you. I think the back line, the defense has looked much improved. Obviously, Reggie Cannon just went down with an injury. He's going to be out a little bit, so the Kosi Thompson trade makes a bit more sense. Lucas Harrington, the 18-year-old kid that they signed from Australia last year, who, he finished up, I think he had to finish up his season in Australia because he was only 17 and couldn't come over to the U.S. So now he's 18 and he can play in the U.S. He's already gotten his first 2 caps for Australia. He's already looked like a really good young center back in the league. I was listening to Soccer Wise. I think it was earlier. It was either late last week or earlier this week. And David Goss and Matt Doyle are already saying that Lucas Harrington already has European interests. So, we might not even know Lucas Harrington that much as an MLS center back.
Come on, stay a while.
but you have definitely a much improved defense. And then I think the biggest thing, right, is like outside of Rafael Navajo, like just being a really good MLS striker, where is the rest of the goal contributions really going to come from? Obviously, I think Paxton Aronson, the numbers maybe don't necessarily show it, but he is the central piece to everything in that attack. I think adding a guy like Georgie Manungu makes this team very fun. Honestly, he's just like a really fun attacker, like really versatile. And I think he's fast as absolute all hell. And, obviously the Seattle Sounders, really deep team. So he's going to come into Colorado and really get the opportunity to be an MLS starter and prove that he is an MLS starter. So I know Colorado, maybe not the spot I would have assumed I kind of started with, but I saw it and just wanted to roll into it. So, Colorado Rapids there. You want to talk really quick? U.S. made some subs going into this half.
Yeah, let me pull up the subs.
One sub, I apologize. Patrick Ajuman subbing on for Christian Pulisic to take over at the striker role because Pulisic had to come in and play striker for whatever reason, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
I'm fine with trying new things, I think.
This is World Cup time. Try stuff when it's not the World Cup, but whatever. All right, give me a team, a club, an MLS storyline, something that you have interest in.
Man.
I can go into something else if you
Nothing's happened, man.
I don't know. Is there something we haven't mentioned? Like, I could go into a whole FC Dallas thing if you want right now.
Oh,
don't you?
Sure, you could. I think you always can go into an FC Dallas thing.
I could talk FC Dallas.
Okay, go into your Dallas thing because I don't really have anything major.
Santi Moreno officially coming over from Fluminense. I know we've talked about it a little bit last week when it was more Tom Bogert reported versus actually official, but it looks like Santi Moreno is going to be the 10 that's sitting underneath.
You've been waiting for this.
I've been waiting for the star 10. Do I think Santi Moreno is a star 10? No, but do I really like Santi Moreno as a very talented young?
Does he make the team better?
100%. And that's what I'm saying is you give me Santi Moreno with Petar Musa and Logan Farrington running at you, FC Dallas, MLS Cup, here we come. Okay, like that's
I was about to say I think they're closer to Colorado's situation than they are to
they
MLS.
Are better than Colorado.
They are, but also they're not MLS Cup top of the line.
Yeah, no, they're not. I was joking about that. But I do think this improves FC Dallas. If you told me FC Dallas finished top 3 in the Western Conference by the end of 2026 or whatever end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised. I will say that as long as everyone's healthy.
Let me see what we predicted.
Top 3 in the West seems like.
I picked them to finish 5th, so I can't be like.
No,
I'm not disagreeing.
You picked them over where I had them because
you have them 6th, so not that much behind.
Well, I had them at like 8th at one point. I had to.
Yeah, but you moved them before the season, so that you had them at 6th.
I'm just saying.
It'd be funny if they finished 8th.
It wouldn't be if they just absolutely just shit the bed, but
hey, they're 8th right now.
All right. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about? Otherwise, I feel like this is going to be a shorter episode, and I'm fine with it.
I think we've touched on like the undefeated teams. Like we've talked plenty about Nashville, New York City, Miami. Charlotte had a decent win for the first time, but
it was a 10-man Red Bulls team.
And that's like almost all of their goals were scored in that one game. But
Wilfred Zaha. Really quick on Charlotte, now that you brought them up. Wilfred Zaha does not have a contract past June, by the way. He goes back to wherever he's on loan from. I forget. But
it was, is it Galatasaray? Am I crazy?
It is Galatasaray, yes.
That's crazy. I can't believe I got that right.
He, and it looks like he's getting a little bit more public communicating about it, which, always great from Wilfred Zaha.
He's a public communicator.
He doesn't know how to communicate one-on-one. He needs a crowd for it. But yeah, I don't know. I could see him being gone, and
there was an injury for Seattle too. ACL.
Petkovic, the defensive midfielder they brought in on loan from Charlotte. U22 kid just tore his ACL and he's out for the year. Yeah,
that's a bummer.
Someone's
got to check what's going on in Seattle.
You've been saying it. Cecilio Pompeu, the St. Louis City winger, he also tore his ACL in a non-contact injury. He's on the season-ending injury list. These non-contacts in non-game weeks, gotta maybe work on that, folks. That's all I'm saying there. All right.
Yeah.
You give me your game for this weekend. Of
the weekend. We've got MLS back. MLS is back?
The tournament? We're going. I think that's what the opening weekend should be called. Is the MLS is back weekend? You have to reference it.
Yeah. We have to. Again, they could have called that little sprint season. So MLS is back. Would have been pretty
Honor
cool.
your history, Major League Soccer.
Would have been pretty cool.
Honor your history.
Let's see. What can we pull here?
Well, while you look really quick, I'm just going to announce the 2 other moves and give some news to the listeners out there. The New York Red Bulls have signed center back Julian Bazan from Deportivo Pereira to a U22 initiative deal, and which they need some center back depth. So, I expect him to play. And then the New England Revolution acquired striker Marco Zambrano on loan from Real Salt Lake with a purchase option. So I hope that 45 seconds.
No, I have it ready, but I'm glad you mentioned it. No, you're good.
I'm sorry.
I feel, I had to think it through because part of me is picking this game because objectively, I think it's going to be the most fun and best game. I also just kind of feel bad because I feel like I've picked both of these teams already in a game this season. So it's sort of like, sorry, but the fun teams are going to be these teams. Okay. I'm sorry, fans of all, 28 other clubs or 20. Okay. Anyway,
it is 28, but we are going to talk about fun teams. It's it's a thing.
It's game of the week for a reason. Okay. Stay up late on your Saturday night. Maybe you're watching basketball. Throw this on the other screen. Throw this on the main screen.
It was taking me really a second to get to what game you were about to say, but yes.
Do you want to say it?
No, it's all you. This is your
I want to see. I was going to say it. Did you get it right? It's San Jose Earthquakes versus San Diego FC.
Yeah.
That might have been one of my better build-ups for a game of the week.
It is. I think
no one asked for this, but I'm doing it.
It is without a doubt, I think, the best matchup of the weekend.
Honorable mentions. I do think the Fire versus Nashville has a chance to be one of the better games. If the Fire can play well.
I think the game to kick off the weekend, Toronto.
That was one of mine too. Yeah.
Like, give me Josh Sargent, now 2 weeks, 3 weeks training with the club. Hopefully Georgi Mihailovic is healthy to start, and we get both of them starting together for the first time. Like,
versus the team we just talked about.
Exactly, versus a team that I think the
Colorado.
Rapids have some reason to be excited and take steps forward from 2025.
I do think those are the 3 games. I think those are the 3 games.
I'm taking a quick. LAFC Orlando could be fun for a completely different reason. It could just be.
That might be. Yeah, that might. I mean, did they rotate the squad?
Is he there yet?
Rotate out of an international break just because they can.
Griezmann is he was at a Brooklyn Nets game. Don't love that as a Knicks fan. I'm just saying, but
Griezmann's a big basketball guy.
Yeah, well, if I'm an Orlando Magic fan, I'm pissed off right now. That's all I got to say. All right,
I don't know. If you're an Orlando Magic fan, you're probably pissed off for other reasons too.
All right. That is it. That is a good 45 minutes when there wasn't too much to talk about. So, Jason, I appreciate you. Thank you for recording. Listeners, viewers, thank you guys for watching and enjoying another episode of the show. Subscribe, follow, do all that fun stuff, and we will talk to you guys next week when we can maybe dive in on a second 45 against Portugal and more MLS action actually kicking off. So, thank you guys, and good night.